No, it seems to be fine. All right, masters. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to the wisdom part of the session. So we spoke about divine oneness. We talked about how to get to that divine oneness through the ascension process. We covered varied topics in that. How do I get into the ascension? We spoke about the 5 steps which are most required, starting from where you are to where you want to go. What is ascension? We covered that. Essentially, moving from your ego space to the universal consciousness space. How do I shift my consciousness? What am I to start with a body mind, then move into the emotional and mental awakening aspect, then slowly into the witnessing and compassion, then becoming in the beingness I am, then eventually getting to the consciousness as it stands, which is oneness. Now, this is a journey. This is not something that we achieve overnight. As we all start to look at our life, whoever have started to look at the inner aspect of life, so it is very well clear that it is a journey, it is not a one-time thing. If I am not disciplined, if I am not consistent, if I am not doing the spiritual activities on a daily basis, then becoming or being part of the ascension process or getting into oneness is only an intellectual theory. It is never going to manifest. So it is very important that as we progress into this aspect of ascension, we also understand what is the true difference when you are in ascension versus what is that I am imagining. Is my ascension, the path that I have chosen, and the state I am in, is in the true state, or is this more a spiritual imagination of my own? How do I know that? How do I look at myself to understand or kind of infer inner, in my own journey, that am I in the false reality or am I really in the state of ascension? So today we'll talk about briefly on that. So it is very important as truth seekers that we have to be able to distinguish the mind activity versus the intellectual or the intuition aspect of it. What is my soul really wanting me to do versus what is my mind asking me to do? This distinction gets clarified as we go deeper in our own meditation. So it is very important that as we go deeper in our meditation, we start to clearly, very clearly, we will be able to distinguish between those two. Now, what do I need? I need to be able to meditate daily for that. Now, what happens when I start meditation? We all know that, hey, once I start to observe my breath, I've got this consciousness shift, my inner state from body mind moves into soul consciousness, my intuition gets activated, my chattering of the mind comes down, my breath slows down, a lot of these things we talk about, which are all, some of them are factually happening for everyone, some of them are theoretical for others. Because you may not have experienced certain things, someone is talking about it, at that point it is only intellectual capacity, right? You are consuming that information, but you don't have the experience as such. So in the state of oneness, how do I make sure in the path of my oneness, in the path of me reaching my own state of oneness, what are the things that are to be followed and what are the things that are to be cautiously observed, right? To make sure that you are course correcting yourself in the journey. The first that we have to look at is ego. This is the most important thing. If you are in the true ascension, if you are in the true ascension, the sense of I, the belonging I, it is me, it is you, it is I, that false I, whatever we carry, has to become lighter, has to become quieter. Very, very important. On the contrary, if I am imagining it, if I am trying to act in the spiritual aspect of my life, for whatever reasons, right? Whether for my inside satisfaction, for my ego, or for others that I want to show off, then your ego wakes up in multiple different ways, right? You feel like you need to be recognized. You feel like your words have to be acknowledged. You start to put yourself out there with spiritual labels. I am awakened. I am a 5D master. I am a 7D master. I have this. I have that. Right? If your spirituality is not recognized by others or acknowledged by others, then you feel very upset. This is a spiritual imagination. We should always look at, when you are in satsangs, when you are in seva, when you are doing, any events, when you are congregating in a group, for whatever may be the reason, how do you stand? Where do you stand? Do you see everyone same? Everyone is same. Everyone is divine. Every soul is unique. Every soul is divine. So if I try to bring that perspective, we have to make sure that when you are with everyone, when you are within you, how do you see yourself? Are you decorating your ego and trying to project that you are a spiritually awakened person? Or are you becoming lighter and quieter in your space of ego? That way you are able to do the service without any expectations and without any identity. The most important one. The next one that you get is natural humility, right? What happens when you are in the ascension? Naturally, as you grasp more and more energies, you will become more, you will have more humility. You are not acting anymore, right? Humility happens without effort. It is a spontaneous thing that comes out of you. It is not any act that you are trying to put it out there, right? When somebody says some questions, or somebody is coming to you and saying that, hey, how is the third eye experience, how is this, how is that, if you do not know about it, you are pretty open, saying that, hey, I don't know, you got to go find out, you got to go read, you got to do your own homework. You don't intervene, and you don't try to tell others your stories all the time, right? It is like, you appear very humble, but you feel very superior in your own state. You feel like, yeah, it's okay, kind of a thing, but then you keep hammering it. So it is a performed act, right? Spiritual imagination is a performed act. You are trying to show yourself outwardly, for which there is a superiority that you enjoy inside. If that is how we are, then you are imagining your state of journey. At that point, there is no natural humility within you. So you are out of the ascension, you are in the ego space. And the next most important is, you start to see very reactive aspect of life, right? Suppression versus reaction. This is a very, very important point. Why is this important? It is very natural for human beings, no matter even if you are a meditator, the reactions arise. In truth, if the reaction doesn't arise, then you are not a human being at all. Human beings have feelings. So reaction will be happen, but it will dissolve quickly for those who are in the path of ascension. If you are suppressing your reactions, your emotions, then you are, it is more like, I'm pushing down my emotions on a spiritual level, right? Then you are acting. You're it's like, you get angry. It is naturally seen. You naturally use it to the extent what you want or what you have with awareness, and you pass it. That is a true state, as an example, right? But if anger is itself is denied, you are denying that anger. You're saying that I do not want to bring that anger. I realize it. I have to hold on to it because it's a bad thing. If I show anger, it's not the right thing. So what happens then? You are imagining yourself trying to be there. At that point, you are leaking energy, right? It is not going to help you in your spiritual path. It is actually going to pull you down in your spiritual path. That's why it is very important to identify in our daily lives, how is my meditation, how is my ascension helping me to live? Am I living a very normal human kind of a life with full of divinity, or am I trying to act and bring things? When I am with others, I am this person. When I am alone, I am this person. I am having different identities for myself. Reaction is one absolute thing, right? As you go little deeper in your state of meditation, you also start to see slowly a stable peace that you should get. There are opportunities where you have highs and lows in meditation, right? When the emotional karmic aspects are getting dissolved, you will see certain highs and lows happening and all that. These are all temporary highs. They come and they go. But when a peace comes to you, when you are peaceful, even in a difficult situation, even a worst thing is happening, even something emotionally, highest emotion activity has happened or death happened in a family, you are not disturbed on your peace. Then you are in the ascension path. Otherwise, if peace is only coming and going and you are only imagining, and then you are, hey, when I'm sitting in meditation, I have very peaceful, happy moments. When I'm in satsang, when I'm in seva, I'm feeling that. But when I'm alone, when I'm doing in my whatever I'm doing in my life, I don't have any peace. Then that is not ascension. That is imagination. You are imagining. Whatever may be that inner or outer traffic that comes your way, whether it is a pleasing movement or a criticism or a disturbed movement, your core does not get disturbed on peace. You're still at peace. The moment circumstances come to you, any change in circumstances, if your calmness is getting disappeared and you are agitated, you are using your emotional aspect of your frustrations, whatnot, then it is an imagination. So what is happening? It is working when I am meditating, but when I'm coming out, it is not helping. So it's not essential. So you're not practicing it. Whatever you are meant to experience, you're supposed to bring it to your life and practice it. So that's why ascension is the most, always introspect to see, am I going in the rightful spirit of my ascension for oneness, or am I imagining things with my mind? Sometimes when you go little deeper, when you start to experience certain things out of, more so metaphysical and all, you will start to imagine things for yourself. You got to be absolutely careful and be aware not to fall for it. If you fall for it, then you will drag yourself down, right? Now the other, as you go little inner, the witnessing aspect, we spoke about witnessing is the most important aspect, right? Is witnessing in action or witnessing in isolation? It's a very important point that we have to draw parallels to, trying to understand how is this witness helping you. right? Is the awareness continue to be there while you are speaking, while you are working, while you are, doing anything, while you are listening, while you are, with as a parent, in what aspects this awareness is continue to be there? Or the awareness is only available when you are alone? Only when you are alone and you remember that, okay, now awareness, I need to be in aware because I don't have anything else to do. In the busy life, you never remember awareness. Only when you are alone, when you are sitting, again, it is a progress. You only notice your thoughts while talking, right? It is very natural that you get thoughts when you are talking to certain things. It is a very natural thing. It's a phenomena, right? And if I'm imagining what happens, I'm trying to bring this character out of me every time. I'm trying to look at it. Hey, I need to bring this out. I need to lose my spirituality. When my life begins in the morning and goes through the day, I lose my spirituality. I'm a normal materialistic person, right? And this is a pattern that is happening. Then it is happening in isolation. This is not going to give you the state what you're looking for. So ascension is not about trying to become, right? Ascension is all about trying to dissolve. You dissolve what you are not, then what you are will be revealed. It's as simple as that. So then comes the path where you start to go into a little deeper, the witnessing and compassion aspect of it, where you bring your seva or some of the other components that you bring, satsangs and all that. Then you feel like, there is a less need to teach, or you are urging to preach everyone all the time. Teaching only happens when you are invited. Teaching only happens when you are in satsang. Teaching only happens when you are in a session. You are not course correcting people all the time, right? If you are course correcting everybody's life, every moment, then you are not, compulsion to correct or enlighten others is not the way. Every one of us have our own time. You're not jumping into conclusions. You're not taking up stories. You're not building up your own thing. You're just waiting for the right moment. A right question comes your way, you answer that question. You wait until someone asks you a question. You say, hey, you have any questions? If somebody asks a question, then you respond to the question. Never, if you are in imagination, a spiritual imagination or a spiritual mask, if you're wearing that spiritual mask and you're not in the ascension path, what happens is you tend to give unsolicited spiritual advices that which will not help the seekers. It is the mind playing with mind. It can only go so far. There is no heart to heart connection. It is only a mind to mind connection. So what happens? You are imagining, you're preaching without you having that experience, without you having that deeper understanding, without you having that clarity, without you reading that particular subject at length, you won't be able to answer the questions. The way you express yourself, if someone asks a question, it will tell you whether you have a grasp on the subject or no. It is not the words that matter. It is the silence within the words, the pause within the words that matter. Yeah, that is a void. The energy goes from that, right? So it's very important. If you are in the ascension path, you don't go and tell people do this, do that, and all. You just do it. That's it. whatever it is. And it is also important that you use very simple, plain language. Ascension is all about grounding and living in the normal human lifestyle. It is not about using, some kind of, esoteric, uh, language that will tear you apart, right? That will take the conversation to some unknown territories, right? My expression or your expression of truth, when you are in truth, when you are really in the ascension, should be very simpler, because truth is simple yet powerful. If you are using heavy mystical cosmic terms and you're talking about, hey, galactic DNA, yeah, activation 7D frequency, I've got this thing, in 9D, this is what happened, that happened, I went through this, I have that, I have this, you don't feel calm and clear. You're talking about all these terms which are very new. You're not in talking in a simpler terms. Then you are trying to imagine yourself that you are in the 7D frequency, you're going through that, you're going through that. There is nothing to do with 7D frequency or 9D frequency or 12 DNA, activation, nothing. Everything happens at its own pace if you are simple in your expression. All you have to do is let it happen. That's it. And then you go into the deeper state where you talk about judgments, right? And you start to compare. You do not have any authority, right? None of us in our own journey have authority to look at others and comment on it. Others are allowed to be where they are. Everyone is perfectly aligned. The world is running perfectly fine. We don't look at people who are non-meditators or not in the sattvic lifestyle, that they're not living. You're not judging them. It is when you are doing that, you are in the spiritual comparison. That has nothing to do with ascension. When you are doing subtle judgments, you are in the lower consciousness of people, right? You are trying to compare one versus other. That is not the ascension. That is not the path of ascension. The path of ascension is accepting everyone as they are, knowing that there is a time and place for everyone to shift. I don't label others, right? Saying that, hey, you are not enlightened, you are not, in the spiritual path, you are a materialistic person, you are so and so, you don't even have experience, you don't even go to this, you don't even do that, you don't. That is not what ascension is all about. When you are doing it, when you are feeling it, when your inner mind is chatting about it, then it is a spiritual imagination. It's a spiritual comparison. It has nothing to do with ascension. You cannot feel any ahead of any human being. All human beings are same. Every one of us is divine. There is a place, there is a time for that ascension to come to each other. We have to be very, very focused and attentive in our own way. Am I living ordinarily, or am I looking for special identity? This is also a very important in ascension. Are you looking for any kind of identity? Desire to appear, desire to be chosen, desire to be in the special areas. You wanted to always be in the limelight, you wanted to be in the prime, you feel like you need to do this, you need to do that. Life has to be very normal, It has to be simple. You have to be grounded. That is path of ascension. Ordinary living. You will enjoy when you are in the ascension path, a simple routine that happens in your life. You will enjoy that. You will enjoy. You will not lose that moment. You are in that moment. No dramatic spiritual narratives. You may have beautiful intentions. You may have intentions that are universal in nature. You may look to say that we have to grow as a group. You have to do this, you have to do that. Like Patriji used to tell us, have beautiful intentions that are very, very, universal. But you cannot have spiritual, dramatic situations that I desire to be special, I need to do this, I need to be there. No, then that is not ascension, that is imagination. It is your mind playing a trick with you. Acceptance of pain is another good one, right? When you are in the truth, you feel pain as pain. No sugarcoating. Enlightened masters are not the ones not going through pain. They go through pain. They live through pain. You are not, it is not without a story, without any drama, without any attachment to it, you go through the pain as a pain. That is essential. You are trying to avoid the pain in the name of illusion, in the name of body, in the name of consciousness, in the name of purity, in the name of karma. That is your imagining. Right? What happens when I feel pain as pain is you allow the grief as it comes and you release the grief as it goes. That is truth. You don't deny the grief, saying that this is low vibration, this is lower frequency, this is happening from my survival fear or worry, which is in the first chakra, second chakra. You don't label yourself and say, I should not be doing it, I should distract myself. You don't do all that. If you have any thoughts like that, then you are imagining, you are bypassing it. Spiritually, you're playing with yourself. That is not the true state. Accepting the pain as it is and go through it. And as you become little advanced in your ascension, the most important aspect of it is consistency. You're not swinging based upon the moods, based upon the day of time, based upon the situations, based upon the people you are around. You're always in that very state. The inner state is consistent across all kinds of situations, irrespective of where you are, who you are. There is no dual identity. You're inside the way you are, you're outside, it's the same you are. That's it. Your spirituality, your state of awareness doesn't fluctuate with your moods. Moods is all about mind, flavors of mind. If somebody is praising you, if somebody is blaming you, if somebody is cursing you, you are in the same presence. When somebody praises you, you feel very high. When somebody challenges you or when somebody curses you, you go very low. This is all imagination. That's why in the little bit of advancement, for you to get to that advancement, consistency is the key. You have to get there. We all have to get there to a point where my mood, my mind fluctuations should not shift my awareness. Very important. There is no act of ownership or doership. If you are in the path of ascension, when you are starting to get into the witnessing and the aspect of little deeper aspect of compassion, the sense of life is like it is happening, everything is happening, let it happen. There is no There is no ownership or doership that I need to do this, I need to get that kind of, because that shift has happened internally. You have now moved out from your false ego, and you have shifted into your witnessing aspect. So you no longer start to own things that it has to be this way, right? Why is it important is, otherwise what happens, right? You will have the sense of feeling that I achieved enlightenment. You'll start to announce yourself that I got enlightened, I am an enlightened being. You go tell everybody. You'll tell everybody that I have got ABCD experience. You can call me for any of that. I'm a very powerful meditator. I am a very great healer. I can help you heal. I can guide you. I can advise you without even people asking you, without even people knowing about you. You go promote yourself. Ascension or oneness is not about spiritual achievement. It is all about revealing your true state. It is about living in the truth, right? The compassion aspect of it, which is the compassion has to come in a very natural way. If you are, it flows naturally if you are in that state of ascension. You are not dramatically trying. It is not very selective that, hey, for these individuals I will be compassionate, for these conditions or these situations I will be compassionate. Same kindness, whether a particular situation is politely pleasing to you, or it may be a particular person is very rude to you. Your kindness won't shift, because it is not situational, it is not actionable. The compassion is in a natural way. Like the other way is, if you are imagining it, then what happens, you're only kind to spiritual people. You look like only meditators, you consider them are human beings or divine beings, and the rest of them you don't even consider them as living beings. There is no, the fundamental aspect of this ascension is, the more and more you go deeper, the more and more we start to realize that we are one. The moral superiority what you enjoy, whether it is with the body, with the mind, with the state, with the situation, circumstances, identity, whatever those 10 things that you are associating yourself with, you will start to lose all that. This is very, very important point, because if I am a meditator and my meditation is happening, then when I am allowing it to happen, naturally whatever does not belong to me will drop off at some point. When things are dropping off, then what is left out is the higher state of being, which gives you that compassion in a natural way. You accept everyone in that state of their own space. The noise, right? And then the other important aspect is, there is always this silence. The inner silence deepens for us. The inner silence doesn't mean it is just not talking. It's all about your thoughts. There is a gap between the thoughts. There is a lot of silence. You are in the gap. You are enjoying that state of void, that silence, that stillness, right? You look for that stillness or silence all the time. That attention, that is how you are aware, right? What is the point, if I am talking about silence all the time, right? Talking endlessly about silence all the time, right? But I don't have the silence. I don't have the experience of silence. Or if I constantly be describing my inner experiences all the time, even without you asking me, I'm keep talking about my experiences of inner experience. I am this, I am that, I am that. There is no ascension there. The ascension is not about you showing that you got this, you have this and all. Ascension is all about you feeling in that presence. When you are in that inner silence, it very well, it's a very comfortable and a quiet state that you enjoy. And that state, what you're enjoying, you don't want anybody to recognize that for you. Somebody is saying, hey, you're doing good. Oh, you are in that state of being. Oh, you're enjoying. You don't want any. Nobody need to give you an award for that. You're just there. That's it. It is very, very important to understand that you are not trying to get to that state of silence. That silence is naturally happening to you as you have practiced the meditation happening. It brought you into that state normally. And then, of course, you're trying to get confirmation from everyone that, instead of trying to enjoy your own experience, instead of trying to see or believe in your own experience and have your own wisdom on to support that, you go keep talking to everybody. Am I awakened? Am I aware? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Keep asking them questions, 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 questions. The reason why we do that is I'm imagining now, because I don't know whether, if I get an intuition, I don't know whether it is my mind, logical mind, playing a card with me, or I really have that experience, that intuition that came to me. How do you know that whether you got the intuition or this is a logical mind playing with you? When you ask a question like that, that should tell you that it is not a so it may be a direct experience to you, but you're not believing in that experience. That means your meditation has not deepened enough for you to distinguish between your mind and your intuition. The mind chattering versus the intuition, you haven't separated that yet. That means do more meditation so that you know and you have the direct experience. Very important. Am I ascending? Am I in the right path? Am I doing this? Am I there? Am I that? These things are gonna only bring you down. You only ask the individuals you trust the most. Like when you sit and you trust someone that you know that you will get the right answer, only when you sit and then you talk about your inner experience and you wanted to understand, so that that experience can give you a little more deeper state, then you sit and just talk about it. You don't go ask 100 people, how am I doing, how am I doing, how am I doing? Then you're not ascending, you're imagining. What also happens, this is also important, is you don't identify, you don't create your own narratives, you don't try to, you don't have to have a strong spiritual stories. you know the like, in truth, right, personal story loses importance. You don't want, you rarely talk about your journey unless somebody asks about it. You don't even want to talk about your journey because there is no you, right? Instead, if you are ascending, you don't go hammer about you all the time to everybody. I am this, I am that, I did this, I did this, I got this, I got. Unless somebody comes and says, hey, I want to know what you have achieved, how you have achieved, then you just give them the glimpse of it. Because there is no question of you propagating yourself or or promoting yourself to show that you have this that others don't have. You're not trying to create a guilty movement there. You're trying to be in the state of awareness that everyone is divine. There is no question of you talking superior and then looking everyone as inferior, right? You don't do all the drama. That storytelling aspect of is no longer there. There is no identity. The importance is no longer there, right? It's like, you are trying to have, hey, I have this beautiful awakening story. Let me tell you, this is what happened. And when I did this came, and I did that came, and I do this, keep talking about it all the time. In every time you meet, that is not what it is. You rarely talk about your journey. When you are really in the path of, with these qualities, you can easily see everyone, and then whether these individuals are really in the path of ascension, or it is all the spiritual imagination, or they are in the drama. You can also judge others, but judge not is the fact. But knowing will help you to stay away from false pretensions, from false practices, right? How do you know that someone who is coming and teaching you meditation is a real master? When you know that here are the qualities that the master should have as part of the ascension, then you look at it and see, okay, whether this master is portraying that. Is he in that state, or this is just like, some kind of a time pass? Is things happening naturally, or things are being imagined? Right? So, and then you're not comfort, right? Always try to get cosmic answers. I have this experience, I need to know what it is. Whatever you are saying that you need to know what it is your mind trying to comprehend or trying to contemplate. It can only go so far. Constant need of explanations, constant messages, I need this experience, constant signs, give me the signs. Then you are imagining. That is not ascension. Ascension is all about resting in that very natural and unnatural state. Sometimes your meditation happens very smooth. Sometimes the meditation is very bumpy, but still you are there. It's just happening. That's it. Right? When you sat, you went into meditation. Today you have few things and you don't know about it. It is okay. It is absolutely fine. You not knowing about it. You don't have to know every inch of what the meditation, what the happening is. And when you go seek meanings for every event, every trigger that happens within you, then you're really, you're not focused on the state. You're focused on the drama, the mind drama. Right? And then you also have to see that, hey, how is my awareness? Awareness is felt in the body. Is awareness happening to me? Is aware I am in the state of awareness? Is awareness only an idea, or is awareness a theoretical aspect to me, or the awareness is really experienced by me? Again, some of these things you have to reflect to have that experience. Are you in the awareness? Am I able to observe my breath? Am I able to observe the observer? Am I able to go between, like between my two thoughts? Am I slipping into the gap? That is awareness, right? Between my two thoughts, am I there? Between my two words as a conversation, am I there? Between my two breaths, in breath and out breath, between that, the gap, am I there? The note, between the note of a piano, am I there? It is in that silence that awareness is there. When you say I, then the silence, yam, that silence is the awareness. Am I there in that? Right? That presence has to how you are looking at it versus the conceptual understanding. Oh, I understand what awareness is all about. I understand what consciousness is all about. I understand how you are to be, right? You are like, I'm in the restless state. I have to go to oneness. All this is all theoretical thing. You're always you feel like you're grounded. You feel that you are settled. You are in that presence. Your awareness is there. You are actually in that calmness state. That is the real ascension. Your expression of words is honored, right? When you are ascension, you are choosing, you're not talking about illusions. You're not trying to imagine things. You're not trying to bring hypothetical scenarios. There is nothing like that. You don't reject the world. You don't say that I don't want to experience this. You handle every responsibility with care as a duty. You don't try to run away from your duty, right? You don't neglect your duty, calling them that, hey, these are all illusions. This is all maya. I don't want to be part of this. I'm a different personality. I'm a high vibrational individual. I'm a deep sadhaka. You don't do all that. The reality as it is, you enjoy that reality and you accept that reality and you live in that reality. That is essential. There has to be no negation of anything that is not in your nature. So very, very important. That's why when you start to look at when you start to get into the practice of ascension, these are the things that will tell us, is my meditation really working towards my oneness, or is my meditation creating a dramatic situation for me? Is it happening, or is it still doing? Is it my mind playing tricks with me? There is no, and then the inner chatter, right? Very, very important. How do I know I'm in void? How do I know that I am actually progressing in my own spiritual state? Your inner dialogues have to be reduced, right? Your mind is not keep narrating to you your spiritual progress. Oh, you were there, you were here, now you are here, now you are coming back, now you went here, you came back here. This is all your mind playing tricks with you. It's like self-talk, right? Mind is constantly identifying every state of yours and showing it to you that you were here, you were here, you were here. This is inner chatter. The inner chatter has to reduce in a very natural way if you are in the ascension. Silence between the thought has to increase. Your mind, otherwise, what happens? Your mind will say, I am witnessing this as well. I am witnessing thought. I am witnessing my emotions. I'm when you keep saying I'm witnessing, then that is your mind playing trick with you. So these are the ones that we have to constantly start to look at our own progress to say that, okay, am I progressing in the right order? Am I diverted in my progress? Am I going in a totally different way? You may also go in a different way altogether. Forget about ascension, oneness. You may be looking for some kind of powers. The most important one, if you are in the path of ascension, is your relationship should become smoother. That's the truth. The truth is, when you are ascending, you are becoming more normal, more grounded. The peripheral identities that you have brought together, everything is falling out. What does that mean? That means that your relationships have to be very smoother. There should be, you don't distance yourself as emotional balance. I don't, hey, emotionally, I'm masking myself. I need to distance now because this is a right movement. This is a wrong movement. This person is okay for me. This person is not okay for you. Don't have any of that. That is all the drama, spiritual illusion that you're putting in. You listen deeply to your family. You are with your family. You go out with your family. You have fun with your family. When the family needs you, you are there. You do everything what your family needs. You're not running away from it. You don't claim the higher authority. You don't tell that I am doing this, I am doing that, hence I cannot do this, then that. You don't avoid. Your higher vibrations or your state of being has nothing to do with your duty, right? You don't withdraw from your spiritual responsibilities. Rather, you withdraw your superiority and you become very grounded and a very normal person. That way you go do whatever the work is needed. That's it. So very, so this is the last stage, right? Last stages of when you are getting into from the being to the oneness is when you start to see these developments within you. You are, effortlessly, there is no, ethical behavior in a ascension state is a very spontaneous thing. It is, you don't bring about, you don't have strong opinions. You are not very opinionated on what is right, what is wrong, why this has to be this way, why it cannot be this way. There is no hard feeling, there is no moral policing, if you can look at it, right? You don't try to label things across. You just act without thinking. You don't judge others lifestyles, you don't judge other movements with your mind, like right, wrong. Then what happens is, we are all, every one of us is in the path of oneness. Every one of us have taken the path of ascension, in the journey of ascension. Everybody is in different levels and we are going through it. But when you try to compare yourself against some of these things, you will know very, it's a corrective, it's a course correction. Hey, am I going in the right path? Am I policing myself? Am I saying that I need to do this all the time? I don't believe it. Is your belief system so strong that you are not even ready to listen, right? And you are like, and the other classic example is, you're declaring yourself, I am enlightened, announcing that I am an enlightened being, I don't need to do meditation anymore, right? Just giving an example, right? There is nothing like that. There is never a sense of, I have completed, I have achieved, I have arrived, I have done it. There is nothing like that. If you are feeling that I got this, I am in this state, I am a third eye master, I am that master, I am this master, then you are not a master at all. Because what happens is, no matter whether you are enlightened or you are not enlightened, your life will continue to unfold. That is the reality. That's a hard, harsh truth. Your life will continue to unfold. It has nothing to do with your enlightenment. Life has to move on, right? It has to go on. So where is the question of you labeling yourself that I got this, means I am in the deeper state. Another beautiful way to look at yourself is, you're dominating the conversations all the time. You are altercating, you are argumentative, you are like, you challenge people that, okay, spirituality is all about this. It is not about you going to God. Are you seeking the God outside? Are you seeking the God inside? When you are in the true ascension path, you just talk about the truth. That's it. Listening becomes more than speaking. You are talking because you are here in the session. You have to talk. If somebody is asking you a question, you are answering it. If somebody is asking a question, if you don't have the ears to listen, what kind of ascension is that? You don't have listening capability. If somebody is asking a question and you are trying to keep talking, then there is no, where is the, it's all about expressing your own insights, Where is the pause? Where is the silence? Where is the stillness? Right? The spiritual conversations, whatever you do in the ascension, are mutual in nature because you understand that it's an exchange of energy. The words are not words, these are spiritual words of divine. When I say I and when I say I am, there is a difference of energy. You understand that because you're in the ascension process. So you choose your words very wisely. You try to give examples to the conversations. You don't try to narrate a stories, put like, 2 hour talk, 4 hour talks, right? You try to give the crisp of the conversation to make sure that everybody also gets into that mode of ascension. You are helping your fellow mates to be in the like-minded family, soul family. We are all soul family. Everyone is helping every other one, right? So your listening capability should be there. You should be able to embrace others asking questions to you. You should not shutting them down, saying that I talk, you listen, and you are not talking over to express some kind of views that are not even there in the conversation. It is like, you're trying to do, hey, I'm trying to do this, I heard about ABCD some other time. It has nothing to do with the state of discussion, with the subject that you are in, right? Totally irrelevant. Why are you bringing it up? Just to show that I have questions. You're imagining, you're dominating your spiritual conversations. That is not going to help you in your path, nor help anyone in the path. This should not happen. You don't rush, right, to share your realization. If I am rushing myself to share my realization, if I am talking about my own progress all the time, if I am telling you my own stories every time, then you are not in the path of ascension, my dear friend. There's definitely something not right. Right? How am I trying to look at my life? That's the most important. Are you witnessing the state of being? Are you intensifying everything in your seriousness? Is there a subtle joy? Is there a little humor? Is there a emerging compassion? Is there love blossoming? Is there a gratitude? These are the ones that will help you understand whether you are in the path of ascension, whether you are getting into a state of oneness. You are always serious about spirituality, no jokes apart. You're not mindful at all. You don't value the time, right? If I appear stern, if I appear intense, if I appear like, I ask everyone to come, hey, you come here by 5 o'clock, I come at 7 o'clock because I'm superior to you. I can be like any way I want. You guys wait for me. No, that is not essential. You are humble, you are subtle, you are very joyful. It is friendship. You respect each other. We sit, we talk, we ponder on the subject of ascension, on the subject of enlightenment, on the subject of truth, because truth must be heard again and again, again and again, again and again. Truth must be spoken again and again, again and again, again and again. It has to be felt only once. You have to become that. So when I am in the path of truth, when I am in the true ascension, you are more like, this is very important, right? True ascension makes you more an ordinary, a more human, and a very silent individual. The spiritual aspect of our mind makes you feel you are special, you are different, and you are superior to everyone. If you have that feeling that I am superior, I am a different personality, I am so special, I need to have this, I need to do this, you talk about your journey all the time without people asking about it, then you are definitely imagining. There is no ascension there. In that soul, ascension is a long way. In short, if I am growing bigger, if you or I in our path of ascension are going bigger, then it is imagination. Period. If you are dissolving yourself, all the identities, then it is ascension. True ascension will remove layers, my dear friends. It will remove all the layers. Whatever you carry in your mind, it will remove all that. Spiritual imagination adds layers. It creates that gap between you and your reality. I'm going to stop. I know we are a little over, but I want to give little room for any questions. There are like far more, you can go into very deeper. I've just used fewer examples that we are all familiar with. How do I make sure tracking the ascension progress? I just spoke about few of them. There may be much more. If you go deeper, how are you? Are you judgmental? Are you comparing? Are you interfering in others' life? Are you making decisions for others? It is not easy, masters. It is not easy. You will be tested in every walk of your enlightened, in the ascension, right? Not enlightened, in the ascension path. You will be tested. Non-interference is an absolute thing that we all will be tested, that whether you stand the ground or not. If you are a real truth seeker, you will not interfere in others' journey. No matter what may be the situation, you will not interfere. This is another big one that most of us tend to go and fall. There are, next week, let's talk about, there are few things that as a spiritual aspirant and a seeker, we should let go, right? Whatever we spoke about today is how do I differentiate between, am I really progressing versus I'm digressing, or I'm just diverting, right? Is just my mind play, or is really something happening in my path of ascension? Next week we talk about what happens, what are the things that will drag us down, right? We'll spend some time on that. Any questions on this subject?
Anil, I have a question. So when you said like we should not with the progress what we are going through, right? It's like we should not be shared, or I didn't get quite.
What is that?
You said like the progress what you're like every day you're experiencing, that should not be shared.
No. You have to share to the individuals that you trust.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is, we tend to get more insights by asking others, because I don't have patience. If I don't have patience to experience on my own, I tend to go and keep asking others about how is this, how is that, and I go talk 10 people. All 10 people I ask. I go to an event, I see 50 people, I ask all 50 of them. Tell me. Have you experienced it? Have you got this? Why is this curious? Why am I curious? Why I do want to go? Because I'm not patient enough. It is mind imagining, right? I feel that I have got this experience, and mind is holding on to it. And mind is saying that go get more details, go get more details. But the fact of it is your direct experience. You just have to go a little deeper. Just be patient. Go more, do meditation. You will get to know it, right? Or you trust that individual who you feel like, yes, he can guide me in the right path, and you go talk. It is a simple conversation.
Not to the people who are like just started, or like it's
How will
even
they be able to help you, right? How will see
not for
if
our progress. Is like, you would also experience something like this, like what, it's not the exact same what I'm experiencing. It's just for them to let know what kind of
you know expressing your experience? See, no experience should be ever analyzed, right? Agree?
hmm,
Agree?
yeah,
Yeah. It should not be. Your dreams should not be experienced, right? Analyzed, right?
yeah.
Your life experiences should never be analyzed. Three things you should never analyze, right? This is Patrisar said this.
Hmm.
Your meditation experiences, your dreams, and your life experiences should never be analyzed, right? If you are analyzing, then you are giving power to your mind. Your logic is going to go more and more, because analysis and paralysis is the mind's work. So you don't give any importance to mind. You just go through them, because that is not you. You have to realize that you are not, you're out of all that, right? That is your journey. The journey is you going from that state of body mind into your soul.
Yeah.
So what happens is, yes, you sat on meditation, you got an experience, you just talk about your experience for others to know about it, but you don't inquire about what does it mean, where do I go from the, if I get this, what will happen, if I do this, where do I go, I got this dream, what does this dream mean? Then you there is no ascension, there is no what is the question of mind analyzing your astral activity that is very karmic in nature?
Oh, I mean, like, I'm like surprised with the topic you have too. But it was before you started the topic. I mean, in the meditation when I sat right today, I was completely like a bliss. I never experienced this kind of a thing. To like, it was like I was completely on joy, happy, for like around like probably for 15-20 minutes, maybe. And then I was like coming back to my conscious. I was like feeling why I felt so good today. I was thinking, my mind, as you were talking about it, I was thinking why I felt, but not like I'm teaching meditation, I'm doing everything before, but just why today. Then I felt like one of the master today reached out to me, from that group in person, asking for a ride for the from Maryland. So as a beginner, or I didn't know, I was like explaining everything, and the sessions you are taking. I was like completely, giving her all the details and everything. Then I was thinking in my meditation too that like maybe I was teaching, but today I was sharing everything. Maybe it's because of that I experienced this kind of a blissness today. These were questions coming too in my mind. So I'm like surprised with the topics what you are talking today as well.
No, it is, see, when you share your experience, you don't analyze it, you just put it out there for others to know there is something like this in meditation. When you do meditation, you get something like this for them to know. Second thing, you don't analyze your meditational experiences. When you are very sure to the person that you want to go talk about, if you are looking at them as, hey, he can guide me in the right path, or I trust him, I can talk to him, right? Then you go talk to that one individual, or to whatever, right, whoever it is, you go express it. So trying to understand how you can go deeper about it, not analyzing, not trying to, hey, what does this mean, symbolical representation, if I got this, what do I do now, and all, because you are not supposed to analyze it. That's not the true nature, right? That's the truth, is all about stillness. That's all it is. There is no vision in the truth. It's a state.
True. Yeah. Thank you, Anil.
Thank you. Any other questions? See, questions are an important way.
Yeah. So, yeah, Anil sir, I raised my hand. So, no, thank you for this. Is a great subject. So, the first basic fundamental, if you're looking at a very high level, so ascension would be a side effect for the awareness. Maybe if I'm thinking correctly, as you are into awareness, more into the awareness, and ascension will organically comes, and it will be a side effect.
If you are in the practice of ascension, your awareness expands. That's how it is.
Okay.
So whatever you are doing meditation, when you are, see, what is the path of ascension is ideally you are chosen the spiritual way to know who you are and to become who you are, right? So you are moving from your ego consciousness into the universal consciousness. That is ascension, right? In that process, you are getting that awareness. You are expanding your awareness. Instead of being on and off now and then, you are all the time aware, right? That is a natural byproduct of ascension. When you are in the highest state of ascension, which is oneness, you are always aware. That's it.
Okay.
That's how you should look at it, right? Because it is not just meditation, though, right? It is about your spiritual reading. It is about your spiritual experiences, what you're getting it, how you are, like-minded people. Are you kind to, there is a lot that needs to happen. The peace has to be there. So the more and more you experience yourself, the inner peace, the inner happiness, you are not conditioned by the external activities, and naturally you are in the deeper stillness. That is all the progress of your ascension. And when that stillness becomes a constant layer that you are all the time, then you are getting into that state of oneness, which is the final state.
Okay. So is that okay? Now, thank you for that clarification, sir. So I thought this okay. So the basically, I was really looking at a very high level. So with awareness, we typically notice the thoughts and emotions and all the reactions, and then when it comes to the ascension, we will not be pulled into the puzzle, right? We will not be. It would be more over like less attachments or even our thoughts. So would and then eventually, as you very well said, I was listening very consciously with all the humor. It's a life has to be not like it has to go through all the moving parts. Is that should come as a part of the integration maybe?
Yes, it is part of integration. So if you look at it, ascension is the process, oneness is the state. Oneness is the state that you have to get to for enlightenment. For you to get there, ascension is the process. And as the ascension ladder grows, awareness expands.
Oh, okay.
That's how it is. So awareness is the outcome of your ascension state, where you are.
Okay, got
So,
it. Okay.
yeah, the more and more you are aware, the more and more you're getting closer. And then eventually you are in that state of oneness.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. No questions, masters. Then we'll call it a night here, and then we'll see you all next week again with the material aspects of life, right? So what are the things that we should be absolutely be aware and careful when you are in the path of ascension? So we'll talk about that next week. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Master. Beautifully explained. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please remind about tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we have satsang masters. Tomorrow evening, if you are in the Virginia area at Ashburn, one of the master is hosting, Mutyam and Swapna, madam. So please do join us at 5 to 5:30. We'll all be there. We'll have a beautiful time together. Again, satsang is all about highest spiritual practice. So it's a great opportunity for us to get together. So please do join us. Thank you. Thank you very much. A wonderful
Thank you.
great evening. Take care.